Hey everybody, what's up? It's Retro DM Ray. Hey, so I come on the channel here today to first thank all of my new subscribers and all of my regular subscribers. You guys have been awesome. We have made it above 786 on the channel, stretching hard towards that 1,000. I would ask that you would continue to like, share, please, with everybody you know, and subscribe. If you're waiting to subscribe, come on off the fence. It's cool. We're talking about old school games here, and some other things as well. With that stuff out of the way, please make sure that you do give me a thumbs up. You do put something in the comments if you want to do that. We can keep the discussion going about these good old school games. And today we are talking about the comparison of first edition and second edition in terms of intelligence, wisdom, and possibly charisma, depending on how long this particular video goes. Okay? All right, so I'm going to read to you what it says in the first edition in the entry for intelligence, and then we'll kind of go from there. Gary wrote this: intelligence is quite similar to what is currently known as intelligence quotient, but it also includes mnemonic ability, reasoning, and learning ability outside those measured by the written word. Intelligence dictates the number of languages in which the character is able to converse. Moreover, intelligence is the forte of magic users, for they must be perspicacious. That is a really hard word. Perspicacious. If you know what that means, put it in the comments. They must be that in order to correctly understand magic and memorize spells. Therefore, intelligence is the major characteristic of magic users, and those with intelligence of 16 or more gain a bonus of 10% of earned experience. Spells above 4th level cannot be learned by magic users with minimal intelligence, and intelligence similarly dictates how many spells may be known and what level spells may be known. For only the highest intelligence is able to comprehend the mighty magics contained in 9th level spells. The tables below allow ready assimilation of the effects of intelligence on all characters and with regard to magic users in particular. Non-magic characters typically are able to speak more languages than are human characters, but intelligence likewise affects the upper limit of their abilities as well, and there are racial limitations. All right, so you start with intelligence 3 on this chart, which is possible number of languages is 0. Then you move to intelligence 4, which is the minimum intelligence for a half-elf character. Moving your way up the chart, the midline range is at 9. It's the minimum intelligence for a paladin or magic user character with a possible number of additional languages of 1. And then we move to a 14 with the minimum intelligence for use of 7th level magic spells with 4 additional languages. And we move all the way to an 18, which is the minimum intelligence for the use of 9th level magic spells with 7 languages. Then we have intelligence table 2, which is ability for magic users. At intelligence score 9, there is a 35% chance to know each listed spell. We'll get to that in a minute. And there are a minimum number of spells per level of 4 and a maximum number of spells per level of 6. Okay, so notes regarding intelligence table 2. Each and every magic user character must employ the table in order to determine which and how many of each group of spells by level he or she can learn. At first, only the first level group of spells are checked. Successive level groups are checked only when the character reaches a level at which the appropriate group of spells is usable by him or her. Chance to know each listed spell pertains to the percentage chance the character has by reason of his or her intelligence to learn any given spell in the level group. The character may select spells desired in any order he or she wishes. Each spell may be checked only once. Percentile dice are rolled, and if the number generated is equal to or less than the percentage chance shown, then the character can learn and thus know that spell. It may be in his or her spellbooks, explained hereafter. Example: a character with an intelligence of 12 desires to know a charm person spell that he finds in a book or scroll. Percentile dice are rolled, but the number generated is 52. So that spell is not understood and cannot be used by the character. See, however, the paragraph below regarding the minimum number of spells knowable. minimum number of spells per level, states that the fewest number of spells by level group a magic user can learn. If one complete check through the entire group fails to generate the minimum number applicable according to intelligence score, the character may selectively go back through the group, checking each spell not able to be learned once again. This process continues until the minimum number requirement has been fulfilled. This means then that certain spells, when located, can be learned, while certain other spells can never be learned, and the dice rolls indicate which ones are in each category. Example: the magic user mentioned above, who is unable to learn a charm person spell, also fails to meet the minimum number of spells he or she can learn. The character then begins again on the list of first level spells, opts to see if this time charm person is able to be learned, rolls a 0-4, and has acquired the ability to learn the spell. If and when the character locates such a spell, he or she will be capable of learning it. Maximum number of spells per level is the obverse of the minimum number which can be known. According to the character's intelligence, this maximum number, which the magic user can possibly have in his or her spellbooks, varies from 6 to an unlimited number. As soon as this maximum is reached, the character may not check any further in that level group. Change in intelligence. If intelligence goes down or up for any reason, and such change is relatively permanent, the magic user must check again, as explained above, for known spells by level group. Acquisition of heretofore unknown spells. Although the magic user must immediately cease checking to determine if spells are known after the first complete check of each spell in the level group, or immediately thereafter during successive checks when the minimum number of spells which can be known is reached, it is possible to acquire knowledge of additional spells previously unknown, as long as this does not violate the maximum number of spells which can be known. New spells can be gained from captured or otherwise acquired spellbooks or from scrolls of magic spells. In the latter event, the scroll is destroyed in learning and knowing new spells or a spell. This subject is detailed more fully in the section explaining magic users as characters. All right. Now we're going to switch to 2nd edition. The table for 2nd edition intelligence is on the page following this reading. Intelligence represents a character's memory, reasoning, and learning ability, including areas outside those measured by the written word. Intelligence dictates the number of languages a character can learn. Intelligence is the prime requisite of wizards, who must have keen minds to understand and memorize magical spells. A wizard with an intelligence score of 16 or higher gains a 10% bonus to experience points earned. The wizard's intelligence dictates which spells he can learn and the number of spells he can memorize at a time. Only those of the highest intelligence can comprehend the mighty magic of 9th level spells. This ability gives only a general indication of a character's mental acuity. A semi-intelligent character, intelligence 3 or 4, can speak with difficulty and is apt to react instinctively and impulsively. He's not hopeless as a player character, but playing such a character correctly is not easy. A character with low intelligence, intelligence 5 to 7, could also be called dull-witted or slow. A very intelligent person, 11 or 12, picks up new ideas quickly and learns easily. A highly intelligent character, intelligence 13 or 14, is one who can solve most problems without even trying very hard. One with exceptional intelligence, 15 or 16, is notable above the norm. A genius character is brilliant, 17 or 18. A character beyond genius is potentially more clever and more brilliant than can possibly be imagined. However, the true capabilities of a mind lie not in numbers, IQ, intelligence score, or whatever. Many intelligent, even brilliant people in the world fail to apply their minds creatively and usefully, thus falling far below their own potential. Don't rely too heavily on your character's intelligence score. You must provide your character with creativity and energy that he supposedly possesses. Number of languages. This lists the number of additional languages the character can speak beyond his native language. Every character can speak his native language no matter what his intelligence is. This knowledge only extends to speaking the language. It does not include reading or writing. The DM must decide if your character begins the game already knowing these additional languages, or if the number shows only how many of your languages your character can possibly learn. The first choice will make communication easier, while the second increases your opportunities for role-playing, finding a tutor, or creating a reason. a reason why you need to know a given language. Furthermore, your DM can limit your language selection based on his campaign. It is perfectly fair to rule that your fighter from the Frozen Wastes hasn't the tongues of the Southlands, simply because he has never met anyone who has been to the Southlands. Blue box insert if the DM allows characters to have proficiencies. This column also indicates the number of extra proficiency slots the character gains due to his intelligence. These proficiency slots can be used however the player desires. The character never needs to spend any proficiency slots to speak their native language. Spell level. This lists the highest level of spells that can be cast by a wizard with their intelligence. Chance to learn spell is the percentage probability that a wizard can learn a particular spell. A check is made as the wizard comes across new spells, not as he advances in level. To make the check, the wizard character must have access to a spellbook containing the spell. If the player rolls the listed percentage or less, his character can learn the spell and copy it into his or her spellbook. If the wizard fails the roll, he cannot check that spell again until he advances to the next level, provided he still has access to the spell. All right. Maximum number of spells per level insert. This number indicates the maximum number of spells a wizard can know from any particular spell level. Once a wizard has learned the maximum number of spells he is allowed in a given spell level, he cannot add any more of the spells of that level into his spellbook, unless the optional spell research system is used. Once a spell is learned, it cannot be unlearned and replaced by a new spell. For example, Delsinora the Mage has an intelligence of 14. She currently knows 7 third-level spells. During an adventure, she finds a musty old spellbook on the shelves of a dank, forgotten library. Blowing away the dust, she sees a third-level spell she has never seen before. Excited, she sits down and carefully studies the arcane notes. Her chance to learn the spell is 60%. Rolling the dice, Delsinora's player rolls 37. She understands the curious instructions and can copy them into her own spellbook. When she's finished, she has 8 third-level spells, only one away from her maximum number. If the die roll had been greater than 60, or she already had 9 third-level spells in her spellbook, or the spell had been greater than 7th level, the maximum level her intelligence allows her to learn, she could not have added that to her collection. Spell immunity. Spell immunity is gained by those with exceptionally high intelligence scores. Those with the immunity notice some inconsistency or inexactness in the illusion or phantasm, automatically allowing them to make their saving throws. All benefits are cumulative. Thus, a character with a 20 intelligence is not fooled by first or second level illusion spells. So if we go back up to the table, you have these charts start at an ability score of 1. Of course, that would have to be how either you decided to generate your stats for some reason, or that it was reduced to that for some reason or reasons within game. You would have number of languages would be 0, and the note is, while unable to speak a language, the character can still communicate by grunts and gestures. You go to the midline, which is 9 and 10. You have number of languages is 2. Spell level at 9 is 4th, at 10 is 5th. Your percentage chances at 9 is 35 and at 10 is 40. Max spells per level at 9 is 6 and at 10 is 7. Going to the higher end of the range at 15, number of languages is 4. Spell level is 7th at a 65% chance to learn spell, and 11 as the maximum number of spells per level. Hitting all the way up to an 18, you have maximum number of languages of 7. 9th level is your maximum spell level, and you have an 85% chance to learn spell, with 18 as the number of max spells per level. Now, of course, as I've said before, these charts also continue for ranges of 19 to 25. Depending on if you're using the Unearthed Arcana, for example, and you would get a +2 intelligence by playing, I believe it's a Grey Elf, then you could have a 19, and beyond that, it would be some godlike thing. I believe that came from Legends and Lore, or Deities and Demigods, and then it became Legends and Lore, and then made its way into here. So you see it included here. As I said last time, there's a bit of power creep associated with this. I would say you just measure that based on your own personal opinion. I played 2nd edition forever, and it doesn't bother me. But that might bother your senses as far as old school gaming is concerned, and that's fine. All right. I won't go into the major differences that I can see between those. I'd rather you guys put that stuff in the comments so that we can talk back and forth about that and take a look at that in a little bit deeper way together, back and forth, rather than me jumping back and forth. I will say the prose that are here are a little easier to read in second edition than Gary's style in first edition. I don't mind that. I just could not pronounce that word and don't know what it means for certain. Beyond that, I think that's fine. I think we've already been going for about 15 minutes now, and I know I promised the wisdom and the charisma. I might do that later today or this evening, or I might do that this weekend. I don't want to go too long for this first one, and it just so happens my allergies are bothering me here in the room. So I will leave off for now. I'd let you kind of mull that over, the differences between first and second edition as far as intelligence is concerned. I will mention one thing. When we get to wisdom, you'll see it again. Clerics, and I also gave it to druids as well, but clerics get bonus spells based on their wisdom score. Within just months of playing second edition, we house ruled that you used that chart, compared your intelligence to that bonus spells chart for wisdom for priests and clerics, and then that was your bonus spells you could cast per day as a magic user as well. And we'll get to that when we get to wisdom. But that's just one particular house rule that I've always used forever and ever and ever. And it's never broken the game in any way. It's made wizards a tiny bit more viable at lower level, and it hasn't enhanced their power all that significantly at all, as far as wizards' power levels go anyway, at higher levels. So that's just a house rule that I use, and I'm sure there are tons and tons and tons of people that do that too. I've been to Gen Con, they did it. I've been to local conventions, so it's been pretty pervasive in my experiences of gaming for quite some time since second edition. And might even have been something for you if you had come from first edition. You might have already ruled that in your games. I don't remember far back enough if my first edition Dungeon Master did that as well. He probably did, but I don't remember. It's just been a while ago. But I know that's the way I always run it. All right, so I'm going to leave off here. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you enjoy this little shorter one on intelligence and the comparison between first and second edition. Please, again, give me a thumbs up, share, sub. I'd appreciate it. As always, prosper and good gaming, as Gary would say. God bless, take care, and have a good one. Later.